5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban.
Alright, ready to roll?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Good.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Hello and welcome back to the MDL Disneyland Paris Major Qualifiers EU region. My name is Nomad, and joining me is a man who's best enjoyed with the Pinot Grigio white wine from the south of Italy. It's Tsunami.
OG's turn to pick.
I do like the image that conjures up. Feels serene.
Maybe
anything but serene.
yes, it's a bit of a bloodbath last time around. Unfortunately for all the Alliance fans out there, they didn't have much of a leg to stand on after that laning phase.
No, but my theory is that it's a decoy game.
Radiant
Although, unfortunately, they end up going for Oracle no-tail as opposed to a Baden no-tail. But my theory was, they pick up a Baden, and then they're like, alright, show us how to beat a Baden, and then we'll do that game too. But OG do not oblige. Even though Abaddon is available for no-tail, they give him his third support hero, which is Oracle. It's either that or the Prophet, and the Prophet is first phase banned out by Alliance, so he will instead pick up Oracle. Which, I mean, honestly, I didn't have any issues with the Enigma. I don't think 5-position Enigma is particularly viable in many situations, but OG made it work. So
they did.
I had no issues with how they ended up playing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, 5 Enigma's not great, but if the draft demands it and you have the players who can adapt to it, then it's going to work for you. And that's exactly what happened last game as well. Keeper of the Light and Tiny. This is a bit of a decent combo if they're landing together on Alliance. The Tiny could be in the 4 position. Getty's kind of the flex pick right now. But basically whoever you throw in the Coddle with is going to have a pretty nice time. You just want someone who can spam out powerful spells. And OG, no surprises here, just going straight back for the Pangolier. Is Thompson? Well, I guess last game he actually played the OD, so yes, he had played other things this tournament, but it does still feel like we've seen a lot of Pangolier from Thompson.
Yeah, and I guess OG are proving that it can be used as a flex pick. I think JRX also did fine on it. Again, not always viable to have a 4-position Pango, but like you said, if the draft demands it and you have the players who can adapt to it, then it's absolutely something that you can transition into. And so I think JRX proved that it was definitely something that OG are capable of pulling off, but I am leaning towards it being Thompson. But we'll see. Not really able to guarantee too much out of the draft early on this look.
Yeah, it's still very open for both teams, to be honest. I mean, what are we hoping to see from Alliance this game round? Because obviously last game they went for the Morph thing, and he had a pretty decent lane, but then just he was the only one having a really good lane other than Pugner, and he didn't build for the mid game at all. And that really came back to bite them in the ass. And the Pugner, he had a fairly decent time. He did okay in his lane, and then he did a really couple of great sort of 3 or 4 minutes where he was just roaming around and getting a ton of kills and making a lot of pressure, punishing OG. And then he died once or twice, and that was just it. He didn't have a game after that. So what do we want coming out from Alliance this time around? A similar draft or something a little bit more aggressive, perhaps?
In the past, they've been giving Madara heroes like Terrorblade that are allowed to be more greedy. And or don't even really hit their spike earlier on. But Morphling's a hero who can very easily hit a spike earlier on, so that's why it confused me the way that he chose to build it. So it all depends on what alliance you're going to give Madara. But I think if they give him a hero that they want him to be an extremely hard farmer on, then you need to have more reliable mid-game cores. And you need to itemize those reliable mid-game cores. Like, I think Kunkka and Pugna in Game 1 are great in the mid-game. You know, all you really need is a Aether Lens on Pugna, maybe a Kaya, and you can do a lot of work. Same thing with Kunkka. If you have a Halberd, yes, Shadowblade also kind of works, it's just a greedier alternative, then you can be useful in the mid-game. But Alliance weren't able to convert that. I think Tiny is a little bit more straightforward. You don't really need to itemize, like there's really no matter what you build on Tiny, he's going to be useful in the mid-game. If you go Drum, if you go Blink, whatever the case is, he's still going to be useful. So I wouldn't mind if they give Madara a hard carry or some sort of greedy farmer again, even though Game 1 wasn't a great look. I just want Alliance to be more ready for OG to be like, oh, sweet, you know, you're going to build Midas on your one position, then we'll just start pushing really early on. I want Alliance to be a little bit more adaptable, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Midas was okay. You know, you built the Midas. The game was going well for them at that stage, so I can understand it. The game starts going wrong, and Madara still goes in for the Boots of Travel. That's when my issues start to arise, right? Because, you know, you got the Midas, yeah, fine. There was a good game for a Midas at the time of buying it, but then things start to turn around and you're still not adapting. As you say, I think that's where something they can improve on. And now Alliance are going to take up the Magnus. They take it away from Seb and put it into their own hands here. I always love to see a Magnus game, not going to lie. This guy, he's one of the coolest heroes, in my opinion. I just love, like, the RP and the Skewer. It's two huge spells which you can make some massive plays on. Even Shockwave now having a...
What are you talking about? You're not hype about Empower? You're not hype about him grunting every single time he sees his one position?
5 seconds remaining.
You make that way creepier than it really is. But yeah, good impression. Surprisingly spot on.
Thank
you. Have you considered voice acting? I heard Cap's getting into it. You guys could join up and do a duo. Yeah.
I mean, TI9's hero has not been revealed yet, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, duo, like a new Ogre Magi.
Oh man, I think you're really on.
Ogre Magi Arcana, that's it, there we are.
Oh, dude. Now that is something that I think is a missed opportunity right now.
Alright, we'll get Cap on the phone after this game and let you guys know how that gets on. Magnus, though, popular pairings coming to mind. PA, Juggernaut, basically any hero that builds a Battle Fury, Magnus is BFFs with, so...
Yeah, and the ones that don't, that Alliance are comfortable with. Well, Troll does build one, and they pick Troll fairly frequently. The Terrorblade that I mentioned earlier on definitely enjoys having the Empower. Yeah, the Jug, the PA that you mentioned. I honestly have not been seeing very much PA these days. She seems to have fallen off heavily. I think she's still kind of a CIS sweetheart, but in Europe, I don't really see it particularly frequently, so... I would be a little bit surprised at seeing that, but it would be fine. Ember is also something that we could see it on, especially these days with the Max Slight. It's a little bit more viable than it used to be, but I think it's a good idea. Hopefully it discourages Madara from going from such a greedy build. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
OG
you haven't seen PA for a while, but OG are just going to steal it away all the same. This is a kind of Madara hero-ish. I don't know. I kind of might want to see a... I don't know. A Terrorblade sounds like a fairly good pickup, but then again, the gap closed from the PA could be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, apparently Ana played PA twice throughout this qualifier, so it seems like OG have been enjoying the hero. And it does seem like a good idea to deny it from Alliance in this context with a Magnus. So... my only concern is if it's a Topson Pango, then their team is a little bit squishy. But
yeah, that's
with an Oracle, you can kind of get away with it, just because you're like, my Phantom Assassin is going to kill all of you underneath the span of a False Promise, so we don't really need to build tanky. But it's not the most reliable solution.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, I don't know. When it's no-tail, it kind of is a reliable solution. Like, you know that you're going to get those
but the
those
nerfs,
ultimates coming through.
The cast range nerf, it was so heavy in 7.21D. It's like 700 range now at level 6.
What it used to be.
It used to be like 1,000, I think.
Oh, okay, okay. You said that very sarcastically, but you actually...
No,
not
I'm
sarcastic at all.
genuine. Let's see. Oracle, False Promise. Yeah, it used to be 1,000 at all levels. Now it's 700, 850, 1,000.
Okay, yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit. I mean, the Oracle has to get involved in the fray a little bit more, which is definitely not something you want to do versus Tiny and a Magnus. Like, these two heroes are going to be hunting Hotel.
You're going to get pulled in by the Wisp, for sure.
Ooh, double cleave. That's the dream right there. Gonna go for the Great Cleave and the Empower.
You said double cleave,
or it could be
that we're talking about. We're talking Battle Fury, Great Cleave, and Empower. I want
probably
to see
Midas as well,
three
just to make
particle
sure.
effects coming out from each of his sword attacks.
I want my server to crash every time you right-click something.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think Sven's a smart pick. In this situation, core Sven
5 seconds
having
remaining.
the Warcry
Radiant
is
team
very, very
back.
effective against Phantom Assassin. It nullifies so much of her damage. Being able to provide your supports with... Basically, mechanically, the Warcry is... I did some testing on it because I wasn't 100% sure how it worked, but it's basically like a pipe for right-clicks. So it's not physical damage. So, like, any, like... I don't know, there aren't that many normal physical damage spells. The ones that I used to use don't really count, like Omni Slash and Anchor Smash, but like, I don't know, Slithering Crush, for example. It wouldn't absorb any of that, but the right clicks it absorbs. And Phantom Assassins, her daggers are going to get absorbed, and whenever she jumps on you, at least like the first 2 slashes of her right clicks will get absorbed most likely. Assuming she doesn't crit, but even then at least on the first crit, your support will probably survive it. So Coddle definitely enjoys having a Sven on his team. And Sven enjoys having a Magnus on his team, so I'm seeing far more synergy from Alliance's draft this game than I did in the previous game.
Absolutely, yeah. The cards are dropping correctly for Alliance. Not that they had a bad draft that last game around, but this is seeing a lot of synergy right now. I also always like having Tiny into Oracle because just any hero which can offer a kill threat on the Oracle, and it doesn't matter if the Tiny's in the 4 position or the 3 position here. He is, or even in the 2. He can still offer a kill threat onto the Oracle no matter what, so the hero just doesn't have a big enough health pool to deal with it. And OG lined things up with a Necrophos, so tops on the Necro in the middle lane.
So again,
I guess? Oh no, I think it's more of a Seb hero actually.
Yeah, I think this is Seb, and it's Thompson, Pango, and Ana, PA, Jirax, Wyvern, and No-Till Oracle. Yeah, Oracle has his work cut out for him this game. Because also, his Fortune's End Dispel is very useful, because if he manages to catch Sven, who's initiating, he'll be able to theoretically dispel the Empower and the Warcry with one Fortune's End.
This is such a good pick, though. This Zeus coming out is... I mean, alright, so you go through the Cold Embrace, which is pretty nice. Necrophos no longer really wants to use Ghost Shroud very often because of that extra. I think it's like 20% magical damage extra is going to be taken from the Zeus. You got a Pangolier. When you got that Nimbus, you can interrupt the Rolling Thunder. And of course, PA does not have a large HP pool behind that evasion. And Zeus can just get straight to the bone with that. So I do like this pickup a lot. The only thing I am noticing is that Oracle will, of course, be able to have that Disarm. Which does give you magic resistance as well, 100%. So that could be saving in some situations, but it also means you can't right-click, so you can't just shove it on the PA and send her into a fight like that, because that will not be very scary. So
yeah, and it also means that
No-Till
No-Till can't use the Disarm on Sven, for example. So... I definitely do like this Zeus spec, for sure. Yeah.
And can we just appreciate the balls on Alliance here? Like, I don't think we've seen... I'm not even sure Zeus has been picked up this entire qualifiers. I certainly haven't seen it in any of the EU games I've watched. Or
Alliance
like
picking OG's TI winning hero against them.
Yeah. And that as well, yeah, just elimination game. All right, let's go. It's definitely a Zeus game, but that is what a good team does. Whenever they see the opportunity for a good hero, regardless of the circumstance, they're not going to be scared away by whether it's meta or not. They know if it works or if it doesn't, and I'm really hoping it works this game because I want a good game coming out of Alliance right now.
It seems much easier for Alliance to win. If OG win, I think it's just because they're a better team, but I definitely agree that the draft is stronger from Alliance. They have answers to pretty much everything. The Phantom Assassin is not going to be able to cut through a Sven very easily. The initiation from like Boxy and the ability to attack the backlines of the Oracle is great from Alliance. Their team fight is extremely strong with the Will-O-Wisp and RP, and they have a lot of burst damage to blow through these heroes who, again, like my initial concern was that OG are not very tanky with their Pangolier and Phantom Assassin cores, the Necrophos does not necessarily help with that whenever you have to deal with all this magic damage for the reason that you mentioned. His Ghost Shroud is just not very useful when you have to deal with a bunch of magic burst.
It's actually 40% increased magic damage he takes inside that, so yeah, me underestimating that quite significantly is that's going to be a real issue for this Necrophos in this game. One thing I think it's important to point out though is that the Zeus can be susceptible to a farmed Phantom Assassin. You know, if Ana can jump in and get that Zeus off before he can start casting those spells, then that is going to be a problematic for Alliance. I think the BKB on PA is the biggest timing in this game. Like, forget Roshan, forget any other item, forget like Battle Furies, all of that business. BKB is the thing which both teams need to be keeping a very close eye on Ana, because once that comes out, these team fights could go a completely different way. But don't forget, we've still got that RP which can go through it, and I don't think that Alliance are going to be too hesitant about just shoving it down onto Ana, even if he does pop that BKB and get into the fights early on.
Yeah, and they can deal with the BKB PA, assuming that they have the heroes alive to do it.
Tiger coming in here. He's got the skewer as well to bring back Ana if he wants it. He actually goes and grabs the bouncy rune. Nicely done. And now skewer back as well. Ana in some trouble. Will Phantom strike himself over to Jerax here, but the right clicks are going to come through, and Ana goes down as first blood is drawn by Alliance, and now the stun out onto No Tail as well. The slows from the high ground from Jerax, trying to slow down Alliance here, will be successful, and now they're looking for the turnaround as Ana's respawned and jumping into this one. Coming out onto Madara here. I think he's going to drop. Oh dear. Alliance, they go in for a little bit more than perhaps they should have, as these 5-second respawns at the start of the game come back to bite them pretty hard. But they did still draw first blood, and that's the important thing to mention down here in the bottom lane, as they are starting off with 3-on-3 right now. So wondering if anybody's going to be switching around, or we're going to stay on an aggressive Chai lane situation.
Honestly, it's not that big of a deal for Madara to die, because they did get first blood, and the dude had no mana left anyway, so him having the potential to, you know, come back to the lane, and yeah, it's not great that you die, but he also didn't have any mana regen on him. He didn't have any mangoes, so at least now they have kill potential if they want to go again. So it would not surprise me if they want to keep this tri lane going, just because there's a lot of kill potential for sure.
Meanwhile, Boxy just taking the creeps for a little bit of a ride up here at top. Not sure if he's... yeah, probably just wants to group up both these creep waves and bring them under his tower. And Seb's going to take full advantage of this and bring it over to the creep wave here and try and get both of these lane creeps and the jungle creeps at the same time. Meanwhile, at mid, it's Qualifier versus Thompson, Pangolier versus the Zeus.
I don't think I've ever seen this mid lane matchup before.
Yeah.
I would assume that Zeus does fine, because the disarm is useless, and the silence doesn't really last long enough to discourage any last hits.
I don't know if it's useless. Like, he's got 1 point in the arc. Oh yeah, actually, I guess if he does get silence, then he can just throw out the arc lightning, but otherwise, right click. All the same.
I mean, Zeus's spells are like long range enough that even if you do get silenced, the Pango's not going to be able to run away far enough, unless if you use the swashbuckle to escape, so I would assume that Zeus has the edge.
A little bit of action down here at bottom. Tiger running into him. The Walker going to give him a bit of tankiness as well. Ana going to get herself away nice and quickly here. Doesn't want to be near this fight. No-Tail just throwing out these Fortune's End. What they need down here in the bottom lane is level 3 on No-Tail, but that's a very long way off in a tri lane.
Well, Sub is hassling Roxy underneath the tower. This Heartstopper
not giving this tiny a break.
It's just whittling him down. He's eroding before our very eyes.
As rocks tend to do, but yeah, usually not at this rate. And Seb does actually run out of mana for the time being, but
I respect No-Tail for playing the points. I want to die Oracle line right before committing suicide.
Very nicely done. Slow's coming out onto Madara here. No-Tail coming back into this lane as they're jumping onto Insania instead, but there's a Warcry going to give them the help they need to buy this one, and taking a very straight there, yeah, with Madara throwing in the stun as well. Ana could be in some trouble, but the dagger going to pick off Insania. Madara could be in some trouble as well. Tiger does get the wraparound and cancel it out onto Ana. They're going to turn their attention towards Jerax instead, but Madara getting jumped by the Phantom Strike from Ana. They get the kill onto the Sven. Jerax makes his way away from this one, and OG just plays swapsies, changing around heroes and making sure nobody goes down, although the blast, Ana? He's still hanging around for the CS as well, so... he's got a wand.
He has blur.
He's got blur. He jumps back. Like, this is just Ana things though, right? Like,
wild,
there was like
necessary, but
yeah. That is the Ana mantra right there, beautifully summed up by Tsunami. As Madara just gets back to taking these creeps here. Well, how's it going? 19-3 on Madara, 16-2 on Ana right now.
Yeah, I think these guys are just going to keep brawling in this bot lane. I don't really see either of them giving up. It's just a matter of who has more resources between HP or mana pool. And you'd think with the Coddle on your team that you'd have the less mana issues, but the problem is that...
Tiny?
Yeah, he's
I thought it was
edge.
Doesn't have much of a choice. It's constantly in range of this Heartstopper and these Death Pulses as well. If he wants to come in for a CS, it's going to cost him a hell of a lot of health. And Seb, I'm pretty sure the moment Seb hits level 6, this lane is just over.
Going.
Like, Foxy can't come here anymore, he's just going to die. I don't know. Meanwhile, mid lane, Qualifier doing very well. Not really surprising here. He does have the... Fairly sure he's got a right-click advantage quite substantially here. And as we've mentioned before, Thompson can't really do the whole... ooh, getting very low. Having to pop that wand in the salves. He runs himself back, but does have another one in the pocket if available. Dara taking a fair amount here. I want to see how much net worth they're sitting on here, actually, because Thompson, I think he's been dragging. Yeah, he's been getting quite a few salves sent out to him in this middle lane, I've noticed. So that does put him about 200 gold behind the Zeus at this stage. And
5-minute runes bot. Tiger manages to shove Jerax out of the way.
Nicely done. And they're actually looking for a kill here. They jump forward onto Madara here. Is there anything they can do about this? A Shockwave going to drag Ana off for the time being. Ana's going to turn her focus, and there's that Zeus ultimate. A timely one indeed. Ana in some trouble now. Going to wand himself up. Needs to jump back to Jerax. Jerax is staying just about in range to give his buddy a get out of jail free card as that salve comes in. Now gets straight back to laning. That Qualifier just hitting 6 there. Jump forward from Thompson, and now he hits 6 as well. Popping the Rolling Thunder, but Qualifier just going to run in circles.
Honestly, I'm not thrilled.
Is that how it's done,
God's
Thompson?
Wrath usage, because it's a level 2 Oracle. You do not get very much out of killing a level 2 Oracle, and it's nice, and it probably discouraged OG for pursuing for more. But you saw how low Thompson was getting in the mid lane, and being able to do a Lightning Bolt into a Thunder God's Wrath, and maybe like potentially interrupting the cast animation of a Rolling Thunder or something like that. Being able to solo kill a mid would have been far more valuable. So Quakefoot blowing that for an Oracle is maybe not the best usage of his ultimate, but it's a relatively short cooldown. It'll be back in 30 seconds. But all they got out of it was a level 2 Oracle, and No Tail wanted to move anyway. You see him moving to the top lane.
Stun out.
It's this tiny pressure.
It should be okay. She's got Jerax to jump to her. She needs it, so she's going to hang around and fight up with Tiger here. Doesn't want to throw out the Phantom Strike unnecessarily, because that is Ana's escape gone if that happens. And there's the stun coming out. Stormhammer in. Skewer away as well into the blast from the Coddle, but still Ana staying alive. And actually Seb turns up and takes down Tiger with that Reaper's Scythe. Ana's still running, not going to die. Is it ever possible to kill Ana as the... Well, never mind. Yes, it's very possible to kill Ana.
Can't run from heaven.
Yeah, that's the Zeus coming in. Is that a good use of ultimate for you?
That's a good use. That's an excellent use.
Tsunami seal of approval.
Yeah, and you see even Thompson is like kind of low. He had a regen rune bottled, but he's having to play it kind of safe. And being able to kill Ana is incredibly effective. Ana now transitions to the top lane, and Tiny gets to breathe a sigh of relief, I thought, but looks like Madara wants to match the pace as he also goes top with his Coddle, and everyone's just swapping lanes.
Okay, we don't usually see this late on in the laning phase, but well, Madara just sick of the shenanigans going on in the bottom lane.
Boxy really wants to get a kill on mid, and now that Swashbuckle's down, it was a silence proc, but I think they should be able to get a kill.
Burst strike, toss, yeah. Taking care of business in the middle lane. And immediate smoke up might have been in view if anybody was watching there, but looks like Tiger and Boxy might have got away with that one as I'll go. Is this a bit of a warding mission from Tiger? It sure is.
Yeah, I think they just want to move fast, so Tiny can get down here to defend the tower, and Tiger can place a deep ward in the jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, Zeus has his Thunder God's Wrath in 10 seconds. Although Sven cannot TP, so I don't know if these guys can do it alone.
Have a toss. Jerax happens to get himself away. Doesn't have that much health to work with. They've got the tree throw as well. Skewer coming in, but he's going to stay alive.
He's not going to ult for it. Alright. He has an Arcane Rune bottled on Zeus, so he could pop it and have a fairly low cooldown, but again, it's a Wyvern. I don't really think it's particularly useful. Necro, though.
Seb could be in some trouble. Avatos ultimate Qualifier brings him down. Seb taken out of the game for 25 seconds. Nearly getting the Wyvern as well. Jerax just playing on the edge once again.
This Zeus pick is going to be so good. He's so farmed right now. He's 4k net worth almost.
Madara just going to take this stack as well. Thompson's coming in to see what's up. He's like, hey guys, what you doing? Anything I can get involved in? We jump forward using that blast from No Tail as well. Comboing up fairly nicely. Madara just getting himself away. Stormhammer thrown out.
Yeah,
just a bit of to it and throw in. I don't think there's any real kill threat.
No, he just wants to steal this experience. Madara's getting wise to the usage of this Fortune Send to purge off his Warcry, so he's specifically holding it until after No Tail's Fortune Send connects, so it doesn't get dispelled, so it's going to improve his survivability moving forward.
So now Seb has taken residence in this bottom lane and is getting the pressure on the tower. No real surprise there. And Boxy did want to try and lane against this, but is now forced back to base as he's run out of mana and running out of health as well, as Thompson takes a blast or two from Quakefer here. I'm surprised that Quakefer's just burning all his mana on this Pangolier as he walks past, but kind of just shows that it's not really looking to go for anything anytime soon. And I like this build as well, just clarity straight into the Void Stone. You don't need mana boots on Zeus.
Oh, he's about to finish the Aether Lens, so he's in very good shape right now. I'm surprised that no one's laning bot from Alliance, though. I thought at the minimum you can send the Magnus there. If he dies, whatever, but him hitting level 6 could be so valuable. Just being able to solo RP one person is double damage for your top.
Pangolier getting a little bit carried away up here as he gets Avatos down by Boxy and Tiger.
Yeah, and
Laughing it off.
Does not particularly synergize with Swashbuckle. Swashbuckle damage is flat, so I don't think he...
Yeah.
I don't know what his plan was there, but yeah, that did not work out. That is, I mean, that's a mid lane Pango. So, not great.
Well, he laughs it off, gets back into the game in a couple of seconds, and we'll see what else he does. Insania's really deep into the enemy jungle here. We'll have to blast off No Tail, but No Tail chasing down. I mean, he's got plenty of Purifying Flames to work with here. Jumping in as well, throwing in that dagger. The blast coming out onto Insania. He's running away. Is he running to safety? Well, Madara's nearby, but I'm not sure he wants to help out so much with that. Yeah, this is when it starts to get awkward. No Tail couldn't close the gap to get another Fortune's End off, so he actually does end up getting quite a lot of health off here as Thompson. Now going for the roll forwards onto Quake, but Anna closed the gap as well. Zeus too far forward here, can't get the ultimate off. Taken down by Anna. Now the look towards Tiger as well. He's got this RP to threaten if he wants to, but it's not really going to do a whole lot. As daggers come forwards, blink forwards, and that crit comes out into the skewer. Take me with you, Sarah. He's now sat behind Madara, working onto the Sven as well, and he's just going to get blocked up and thrown down. Anna gets a triple kill in the middle lane. Phantom Assassin has arrived.
Wow, that went from bad to worse to worse.
Really did.
Zeus had the right idea. He was trying to turn around to Lightning Bolt and cancel the cast animation for Thompson. Problem is, his animations are slow. Boxy comes in, we get silence so he can't toss to follow up the combo.
Ouch. Another one's curse thrown down. That's that position behind, but he needs a Reaper's Scythe. Not enough to bring down Boxy, and now the RP, nope, cancelled once again. And Thompson does get taken down by Quakefer here. That's 500 gold going towards the Zeus. Now stun on to Necrophos as well. God's Strength also being used as you have a Ghost Trap to work with. He will not, as he runs himself away. Now just be able to get him out of this one.
Yeah, Fate's Edict meaning that Zeus could not follow up. He was holding on to his Lightning Bolt. He was like, you're gonna go Shroud, and I'm gonna blast you the second you do that, but didn't have to. Seb wisely has opted to build a hood this game, and I think that is a great itemization, given that really the only thing he needs to be concerned about is this Zeus. Right now, the Sven is not a concern. Although at one point, assuming that Madara hits level 15, he can get the Stormhammer Dispels enemy talent and be able to purge off that Ghost Shroud.
Yes, yeah, that is so key. But yeah,
that you'll need to be aware of.
It's a little synergy we didn't really notice before, is it? The Fate's Edict with the Ghost Shroud.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now Thompson. Oh, nice toss.
Toss back. Is it enough to save Quakefer though? It is certainly not. He's going to get pulled down. This Urn and Pangolier basically just by himself. Enough to bring down Quakefer there. The damage from anybody else coming through there? Oh, actually it was quite a lot from the Wyvern and the Splinter Blasts there.
Zeus is a hero that they need to continue bullying, and Zeus is a hero that Alliance need to put a lot of resources into making sure that he gets farmed. Like, I would prefer Zeus get more farmed than the Sven, to be honest, because I think that Sven will naturally grow bigger and bigger, just because, you know, the hero gets tankier, he's allowed to farm in more dangerous spots, but you need to protect Zeus early on from this kind of aggression. And it's a lot easier for Sven to like farm up the jungle, so he doesn't really need that much like policing. Whereas the Zeus, like he basically has to farm the lane. So hopefully Alliance are a little bit more careful about protecting Qualifier, because that was like a freebie for Thompson. It just cost a Rolling Thunder. The dude had barely any investment for that. It was just that and Splinter Blast.
Oh, it's quite nice actually.
Well, Jerax is just kind of posturing here. He's got his team coming up behind him as he takes up residence in Alliance's jungle here. And as you say, you know, Zeus kind of looking around, trying to find where to farm as they actually get themselves Thompson here. Avalanche toss combo, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Thompson brought down by Boxy and Quakefer here, caught out in the trees once again. Angaloo. Feels just like more like a distraction than a hero in this game, to be honest. Sometimes, no, the Avalanche toss gets 2 Alliance. They managed to find themselves 3 kills in a row down here. There's OG leaking a little bit too much.
Now that this Blink Dagger is online for Tiny, things become much scarier for OG. Pretty much every single hero, I think even Seb may die to an Avalanche toss into Thunder God's Wrath, depending on how low he is. So
with this bit of Defiance, it might be enough. I mean, they're fighting up for the rune right now, but I don't think anybody's going to try and kill the other. Though with support coming in from both sides here, it might result in a fight as the lightning bolt's coming down onto Seb here, and Thompson running forwards onto Boxy and finds a cliff to bounce off. I mean, firing around there's the side coming down. Boxy taken out. This is a huge timing as well. 60 seconds dead when he was, as you mentioned, at his peak. But it's going to hurt Alliance for a little bit. Senia just going to run himself away here. Ooh.
Yeah, Thunder God's Wrath is still on a 30-second cooldown, so
my game's just frozen.
It's okay, you only missed Insania dying.
Pedal faster, Valve Intense.
Dude, at least you're not getting the servers full. My digital auditorium, I can't view a digital game because it's full. It's full, can't get in.
Well, they're in some trouble here in the top lane. RP being thrown as well. And with the God Strength coming out, we'll be able to blink himself away a little bit here, but in comes the... No, not enough to survive. The God Strength did hit him, right? It didn't, like, miss because of Phantom Strike. I think he just wandered as it came in.
Yeah. He just got an HP back. I don't think he missed.
Quakefer going for the D-wards here, but OG are coming forwards onto this one. Swashbuckle, even Rolling Thunder being used as the Fortune Gen tries to follow up as well, but doesn't quite connect. Pops the Illusion Rune on top of Quakefer as well, just for a little bit of extra damage. Still chasing here Thompson, but Swashbuckle will miss, and now Box is on top of him as well. A lightning bolt coming down will be saved by Oracle. False Promise coming out, but there's a Will-O-Wisp. Oracle in some trouble, might have died to save his core. It's worth it, but it hurts. Yeah, and he's not got a full spirit vessel. Boxy, he's still chasing. No, will back himself away.
Usually as an Oracle player, you're furious whenever someone other than you builds the urn, but in this situation, the way that Thompson's playing so aggressively, I think it's fine. But it will be kind of a setback later on in the game. And I do think that this game will go late, because, I mean, neither team has particularly strong pushing lineups, and they're both waiting for big spikes. I think Ana, he's building this Battle Fury, so he's not interested in participating anytime soon. He's still gotta complete a BKB on top of that afterwards before it's really time for Phantom Assassin to come out and play. And on the side of Alliance, Quakefa is working his way to this Blink Dagger. I imagine Aghanim Scepter is gonna come shortly afterwards, and that's probably what Alliance are waiting for. They're gonna let this Sven shore up the mid game, which, again, like I said, I think should have been the play. You let Sven be your mid-game carry, and you let Zeus kind of late-game carry, which is counterintuitive the way that most of the time you'd see magic damage carries and physical damage carries, but like I said, the Sven will naturally farm very easily, both because he's Sven and because he has a Magnus for Empower on his team.
Oh, this is scary though. Boxy with a double damage. Let's see if they make anything happen with this one on the side of Alliance.
They don't have much vision right now. Most of their vision is defensive.
But yeah, we might see a little bit of action, 4-man coming out from OG once this Radiance is complete on Seb. And they're actually going to ulti with Zeus just to get some vision here and make sure there's no OG players around. Does put the spell on cooldown for a while, but maybe worth it just to get some vision here and help Boxy out, see if he can finally pick us, but there is nobody nearby.
Mag is an RP and a Blink Dagger, so at this point Quakefa feels confident that he doesn't need to sit like 10 million miles back from the fight. he knows that his Tiny and his Magnus will take the brunt of the focus, so even though the Thunder God's Wrath is down, at least he's going to be in the area to do Lightning Bolts and Arc Lightnings. And they're looking.
Yeah, they're looking towards mid. Avatar straight away. No-Tail doesn't stand a chance. He's annihilated. Now the Will-O-Wisp coming down with the stun as well, but Nextfrost still manages to get the... Nope, doesn't matter. Ghost Shroud will not save him. Thompson tries to roll through, but again, just not enough. Boxy wants to break forwards, but gets cancelled out by the Arctic Burn from Jerax, just holding Boxy back for the time being. The Lions doing so much with what they've given here. And Madara cleans up these creeps in the middle lane.
They do not want Ana to be able to get out of this situation.
No, and he's getting caught out in the trees a little bit here. Yeah, a little bit off the mark there, but Ana, not much to work with, to be honest, as they throw down the RP even just for Ana here, and with the Shockwave, they'll finish the job. Phantom Assassin brought down in the bottom lane. Alliance finding hero after hero right now, and they bring the net worth advantage back into their favor as the double damage finally runs out on Boxy, but definitely making fantastic use out of it.
Yeah, I don't imagine that Alliance are going to be able to fight for the next minute and a half or so, so it's not that big of a deal if the RP is spent. For a Phantom Assassin building a Battle Fury, it's absolutely worth it to spend that kind of ultimate. And bounty runes, 3 of them going the way of
Three Alliance.
A fitting bounty.
Cementing their net worth lead now.
Tower is under attack.
This is good. They're holding it together pretty damn well, Alliance.
Yeah, hopefully they can continue these kinds of hit-and-run tactics.
Yeah.
Because eventually, Jerax is going to get a Winner's Curse, and it's going to be devastating for whoever Sven is baited into attacking. But as long as they can keep spreading OG thin and, you know, randomly getting pickoffs from a distance, which is so easy between Illuminate, Will-O-Wisp, and just Zeus's capabilities in general. It's such a minimal commitment that they have to spend to, like, oh, you think we can get a kill? Yeah, you know, I'll toss a Lightning Bolt. Oh, look, he lost like a quarter of his HP. Alright, I'll toss a Will-O-Wisp, and then we'll chain it into, you know, a Lightning Bolt, stuff like that. And then if we need to, we have RP, we have Avalanche Toss, and we have Blink Daggers on both those heroes. And now 3 of those heroes, as Qualifier has completed his Blink Dagger, and it's just come to him on the courier.
But OG, they're hunting now. They're smoked up and ready to go. Did you see if the ultimate from Zeus came out before or during the smoke?
It was before. He was just using it for scouting. So
Insania could be in some trouble. Swashbuckle does miss. They'll have to commit the Roaring Thunder to this one, but they will have enough damage to bring down Insania here. There's a lot of heroes from Alliance hanging out behind them, though, and they've got... Whoa! Boxy just annihilating No-Tail. Thompson comes forward for a CS, though, but Madara popping the God Strength here, chasing forward. Tiger, he's got the RP in 1 second, but they don't even need it as they bring down Jerax as well, and the tower also going to be taken out by Madara here. Popping that God Strength and going to town. Up on the high ground.
Seb's actually, like, going pretty aggressive on this illusion, but I'm actually surprised that they didn't RP that. But I guess they don't know what Phantom Assassin is, so maybe it's a little bit dangerous.
Look at how much damage Madara has taken in this time, though, because they've just managed to keep 2 Spirit Vessels on him and a couple of daggers, and Madara is, like, down to about a quarter HP. That's kind of insane.
Yeah. He has a BKB now, though, so life's gonna get a whole lot easier for him.
Yep, that's a huge item, and they're immediately looking to make the aggressive plays onto Ana. The Avalanche in the wrong direction. Gonna let Ana get out for free. This pesky PA not caught for the time being.
It's kind of surprising. He had a haste rune. I didn't think it was necessary for him to pull the trigger that quick. But still, they need to keep pushing the lever, though.
Maybe he's
I don't
feeling
think
a little bit psyched out, perhaps.
Yeah. But he has the right attitude. I want him to continue playing this aggressive. I don't want them to hesitate. OG are the same idea.
Jumping forwards onto Tiger here. They managed to push him back, and Quaker popping that ultimate again for the vision as they bring down No-Tail. No mercy for the 5 position in this game, as Alliance constantly just getting these pickoffs. We said that the Titanium's going to be hunting him, but this is getting violent. So they ride in, they're going to catch the old sport as well. Jerax taken out, and the Will-O-Wisp going to catch Thompson on the sidelines as well. He's going to get the swashbuckle forward. Can he get the ultimate off? He cannot do it, and the RP coming through. Alliance turning up to this fight, but there comes the Reaper's side. They're going to be able to take down Tiger, but Sven surely will get the kill onto Seb as well. Never mind, Boxy gets a kill, but all the same, what down. What a fight for Alliance. Once again, the only hero left alive is Ana, who's just doing his best to farm up the enemy side of the map here, but Madara coming in. He finds him. Stun gonna be thrown out, and the lightning bolt as well, doing so much goddamn damage. Ana can't do a thing but taunt and die. Ana gets his steak peppered, and Alliance go to town and take down everybody step by step. This is an Alliance we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, the initiation power from them is just astronomical. Boxy just straight yeeted that Necrophos all the way over to the Magnus. He was just like, oh, you have a 1-man RP? Don't worry about it. I got you a 2-man RP right here. Necrophos shows up right next to Pango, and it's just such an easy execution right there. I don't know why OG are playing so aggressive, because, I mean, Ana's not in a position to cooperate, and he is on the other side of the map. But the Pango isn't big enough to go into these fights. It's a mid Pango with 8k net worth right now. And even though the Zeus isn't like that much further ahead, a Zeus with that much net worth does a lot more than a Pango with that much net worth. And so Thompson's not able to contribute very much. And Seb is a Necro with no Blink Dagger. So even though it's great that you have this Oracle who's rooting people up with the combination of the Rolling Thunder and Thompson's Blink Dagger, it takes a while for Necro to get into the fight to finish things off. So the way that OG are playing is if they have like quick follow-up, but that's not really the case. And poor Jerax is getting bullied so hard. I see him always like mid-turn animation to almost get the Winner's Curse off, and then he just dies. Now he has the Yule Scepter, so it'll be a little bit easier, but it's still like so much burst damage.
Yeah, the supports on OG just are not having a game right now. I mean, No-Tail has been #1 assassination target for Alliance here, and they've absolutely been successful in taking him out. How do they protect these supports a little bit more, though? Because they're just spamming out the Zeus ulti almost every time it's on cooldown to find out where they are. And if they're anywhere nearby, Alliance just jump. And it's so hard for OGs to keep them alive, I feel.
It almost seems like the same strategy that Alliance were going for in Game 1 with Madara. They're just like, it's okay, we'll use, you know, deaths as a resource and be like, we're throwing away our body, but at least Ana is continuing to farm. And at a certain point, Ana is going to complete his BKB, which is the only 100 gold away, and then we can start playing together as a team. Then we can start letting our supports, you know, stay in the back as opposed to be canaries in the cave going high ground and dying instantly. So it seems almost intentional from OG, but at the same time, it didn't work for Alliance in Game 1, and it's possible that OG may be waiting too long for Alliance Ana to come online, as he's completed his BKB, but Sven completes a Monkey King bar at the exact same time that's flying in on the courier.
They don't know about this, but there is a double damage rune in the bottom of PA. BKB, double damage. This might be a time for OG to try and take some fights. But they do have to be careful, as you say. And this MKB and BKB Sven is still much, much stronger than the PA at this stage in the game. Although with a double damage rune, that might not be the case.
And if she gets RP'd, it doesn't matter how high her damage is.
Ulti comes out, they know this is going on. Boxy has the blink, but I'm not sure they're even that scared here, Alliance. They are backing themselves up. They want to get to the high ground at the very least. As the smoke comes out, they're pinging out Madara, but it's a trap. Tiger's right behind him. Ana jumping forward, though, doing a ton of damage here. BKBs both popped. They're fighting into each other now. I'm wondering who's even going to win this one. It's Madara getting dropped low. Where's the RP? There's nothing coming in. Madara is going to drop. No-Tail dies as well, because that is who they've decided to focus on. Well, this comes down, but it's not going to be enough to save the Sven. The Alliance, well, I mean, nah, that felt costly, but they actually jumped on Tiger in the backlines here, which is why we didn't see him in that fight. Did you see who went on him?
It may have been Seb's Radiance canceling it, but even beyond that, like, he didn't go the second that he saw PA because he knows that, or rather, he doesn't know where Oracle is. And so if you RP a solo target and then immediately Oracle,
jumping into the pit, the Avatar and the lightning bolts as well. So much burst. Ana gets taken out, and now the Spirit Vessel onto Boxy here. He might pay for this, but he doesn't care. He's got what he came for. You can do whatever you want as Tiger comes in with his skill. Will not connect there, looking for the 2-man RP. Settles for one, but they still get Thompson instead, as the Scald Embrace will not be enough to save his teammate. Seb walking through, but can't really do a lot. He just all Radiance on legs right now as Tiger does get harassed out of this fight, but again, you know, Alliance, they take kills and they get themselves away.
Being able to kill Ana in the pit is a huge turnaround. If OG were able to get that Roche, that would have been game-changing. But Yeah, they overplay their hand a little bit. They wanted to continue taking advantage of that double damage rune. They're just like, it's okay, let's win the fight, let's just go on. That's why they didn't continue the fight after they picked up the Sven. They were just like, whatever, we got the Sven, we got the biggest issue, let's go take Roche. Thing is that Boxy is still incredibly large right now. Both in terms of his HP pool and his burst damage, especially whenever combined with the Veil from Qualifier. It's so much damage, and now Qualifier basically has his Aghanim Scepter completed now, just 100 gold away. And that's going to be even more burst damage adding into it.
They're blinking into the pit as well here. Everybody's scared about Roshan, and they've smoked, but Thunder God's Wrath is available, so Qualifier been using this pretty much off cooldown most times here, but maybe this time he'll save it all Nimbus. Alliance is a huge timing for them, and yep, there's Thunder Gods. It's gonna spot people out. A lightning bolt came down near Roshan, and now they're spooked. And Seth jumping forwards here with the magic resistance and the Ghost Shroud on him, making him unstoppable. And look at that rolling thunder coming through off the two heroes as well. The BKB will come off from Madara, but Reaper's Light gonna take down Tiger. Immediate buyback from him. He wants to get back into this fight as Alliance want to fight this one. Madara is so low on HP though. Tail take him down on the back lines there. Ana still looking for a point to engage on this fight, but he can't quite find one. Seth taking so much damage inside this Ghost Bomb. He's going to get blown up. They try to go in, but Ana's just annihilated the moment he steps into this fight. OG lose 4, and Jarek's trying to get himself away. Roxy will die, but now they chase forwards for more as the Nimbus comes out, and Jarex is dead. Oh my god. OG lose everybody, and Alliance are into the pit.
I like how Madara didn't even go for the Stormhammer Dispels talent. He was just like, whatever, if you activate Ghost Shroud, you're signing your own death warrant. Qualifier is going to spend all of his burst damage on you. My Tiny's going to spend all of his burst damage on you. And it feels like everyone on OG needs a Blink Dagger, because initially I was calling out Necrophos, and Necro has a Blink Dagger now. But now I'm like, man, it would be really sweet if this Wyvern had a Blink Dagger also, because they got the curse in the end. It ended up finishing off the Tiny, but it was at the end of the fight after all of OG were already dead. It seemed like good initiation initially because, it's a Pangolier being able to take a fight near 2 cliffs, just pinballing back and forth. Seems like a pretty great situation, but they're not able to enable Ana enough, and I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, absolutely, and Ana just jumped into the fight. I think he did use his BKB, but he just got annihilated so quickly.
Yeah.
Did you see when the BKB got popped? Because definitely when he came into the fight for the second time, he didn't have it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I was too busy watching Necro toy with Fate, but it seems like the Sven with this MKB is proving to be enough of a force that Phantom Assassin can't really confidently go into the fight. This Sven has to be put under control, either through a Reaper's Scythe, or a Winter's Curse, or repeated Rolling Thunder stun procs. It has to be something, otherwise this Sven's just going to tear her apart.
It's rough because he's so far ahead on gold as well, and now they've got more map control, then not going to be falling behind. Although that said, the Alliance aren't taking up that much of the map right now. They're still playing rather defensively in their positioning. Perhaps we'd like to see them going a little bit further forwards into OG's side of the map. But
yeah, with this Aegis,
with the RP cooldown. Yeah, I mean the RP's even off cooldown actually. It just came off a couple of seconds ago, so let's see.
It's tough to say who takes this late game. More often than not, I favor the team with the Magnus, just because Empower is like, an all-game Midas, almost. But at the same time, oh my god.
In they go, Avatar onto 3, what a catch, and the RP coming through as well. Tiger cleaning up, although the Winter's Curse going to buy them a little bit of time to get themselves out of this one. Ana will focus down the Nimbus, maybe looks fight, no, backing himself away. Seb on the front lines taking a whole chunk of damage, but Will-O-Wisp, they nearly tossed Seb out of it, but not quite. Well, it's not going to do a whole lot. OG playing around this fight, it looked like a fantastic engagement. Oh, on the backlines, they find Totson, not able to escape, but Seb will take down Boxy at the very least, so they get the Reaper's Scythe on to him dead for 120 seconds. It's rather a long time. Alliance trying to back themselves away here. Damn, that looked like such a good opening from Alliance there, just finding 3 heroes all grouped up like that, but it just didn't happen. They just I think the Winter's Curse came out immediately afterwards to buy them the escape. There was a false promise used?
Well, Oracle bought back. So
he was caught in the initial burst, right?
Right, so he went down. But it means what happened was necessary. OG finally got Sven under control, and it allowed OG enough time to disengage. The Will-O-Wisp was not able to follow up quickly enough with if they managed to get the Avalanche toss RP into Will-O-Wisp, it would have been lights out for OG. but just one component wasn't there, and as a result, Winter's Curse was able to get pulled off, and
I know what you're doing.
For a little bit.
Chasing heroes all by himself right now. There's team coming in behind him slowly but surely, but this is super aggressive from him.
I mean, by honest standards, it's just another day at the office.
That's true, that's true. Does force Alliance back into their base for the time being. I think they just... Tiny's dead, RP's on cooldown. OG feeling their timing right now.
Yeah, those are the two things. Zeus can't really find an opening just by himself, so he's just pushing out other lanes. Madara is gonna somewhat...
He's gonna force, isn't he? He's gonna stun up Ana here. Jarek coming in from the side, gonna slow him down, and Zed cutting off his escape route as well. That's Rage just gone. Where's the follow-up? They don't have the RP. Well, they got the RP in 5 seconds, but they're just trying to keep him away, especially with the Arctic Burn as the Zeus ulti used. Now the Nimbus throwing down onto Zed as well. He doesn't have the Ghost Shroud available anymore. He's just getting chunked up. They will have the False Promise to save him though. Dagger's being thrown out.
It's BKB.
Ooh, yeah. Alright, that is quite a lot gained from Alliance. No ultimate popped, and finally Tiny's back alive. Dead for what felt like an age there, but now he's going to come back into this game. We'll see if Alliance can make a turnaround.
I mean, he was dead for basically as long as he could be dead. He got scythed on top of his dieback death, so...
Yeah.
OG definitely take advantage of the momentum. And it doesn't really swing that heavily back in the favor of Alliance now. It's only a 3k net worth advantage. Aegis is down, and... in theory, OG should be able to claim a lot of potential for the next Roche. They already have one high ground ward near this cliff on the Western Shrine, or Western Shrine for Radiant, so hopefully they kind of maintain this position. They're going to pick up some bounty runes, but I think that they need to make a strong case for the next Roche, which is still a while away. It's still 3 minutes away, but I think they should own the top half of the map.
How come we never see cleave percentages in the damage stats?
I rarely look
probably
at the
be a
damage
thing.
stats, so
Yeah.
that is a little bit peculiar that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's about Great Click gives 90% and Power gives 74%, so it's 164%. Does it stack multiplicatively or?
Yeah,
additionally.
Okay.
Close to that then. As Jarex, ooh, he was actually casting the Winter's Curse onto Boxy there, and the sad trombone from Jarex. Very close, very close. Alrighty then, 36 minutes into this game. It's a 3k gold advantage for Alliance. They've been taking fight after fight. I'm actually amazed at how little of a gold advantage they have versus this OG team. They've been winning every fight I think I've seen so far, but haven't been able to consolidate that with a gold lead. I think that mostly comes from, oops, they've found Boxy, or have they found Jarex? Who's found who? Boxy jumps forwards. How do you pop this BKB as Thompson rolling forwards? You know who he's looking for. He's looking for Quakefer, but Quakefer's nowhere near here. He's backing himself right the way off as Thompson will blink himself away the moment that Rolling Thunder ends, and Alliance will be able to stop themselves being forced into an engagement which they don't want here. They only want to take fights on their terms.
It's going to be harder and harder to do that now. Jarex has now completed a Blink Dagger, so the chain reaction is absolutely possible now. You've got Blink Daggers on the Pango, the Necro, and the Wyvern, and then obviously Phantom Assassin has her own built-in Blink, so if just one of these sources... Oh man, and Ana might find Koifa in the top lane.
Yeah. Oh, Koifa's
sweating bullets right now.
He's not backing out that far, though. He's actually going to drop the Nimbus here with Madara coming in. They're going to pop the God straight from the RP being committed as well, but No Tail is here with the save. Immediate False Promise coming out. I don't even know what's going on, but there could still be trouble as they throw him into his teammate, and now caught inside the Will-O-Wisp. Out of health still for so long. He's going to die after the False Promise ends, although a nice curse coming out with the wind, with the side coming down as well. Boxy taken out, but Madara is on the front lines, takes down Jarex as well. Now turns his attention to Seb, the Rolling Thunder coming through. Going to force back Alliance maybe a bit here. Seb's keeping himself alive, goes down the Atos, does get stopped out by the Limit Cape from Coin, first stun comes down. Tiger does die as well, as somehow OG are winning right now. Seb just doing the damage. Ping is coming out. Thompson will guess incorrectly. Huh. Well,
now I'm beginning to suspect that Madara's like, really wish I had that Stormhammer dispels enemies talent right now. Because
absolutely. Oh, he didn't go for it?
Zeus isn't able to use his spells, then Necro gets so much HP back because he's under Ghost Shroud and he has a heart and he's, you know, healing from whoever he killed. from Heartstopper Aurora, just death pulses, and the dude has 3.5k HP, and Sven can't touch him for half the time. So it's starting to swing the other way around. Initially, it was great because Zeus was dealing so much damage, but Zeus can't burn through that much damage. It's way too much. Even with 40% amplification underneath Ghost Shroud, it's not enough, especially with the hood that Seb has maintained the entire time. So it's going to be harder and harder to kill this Necrophos. They did shred the Phantom Assassin, though, and it was a good call by Qualifier to go for it. He had the initiation, immediately RP afterwards, and despite No-Tail's quick reactions, he wasn't able to get enough heals out, because even though he's able to save his Phantom Assassin, he can't save himself, and he gets bursted way too quickly. And yet another solid Will-O-Wisp from Insania as well, making sure that even the Wyvern couldn't get too close to the fight for a really solid Winter's Curse.
Yeah, that's the absolute key. I mean, you can tell that OG have based this game around trying to jump these backlines here, which, again, this wasn't a fight on their terms, so it doesn't really apply in this situation, but you kind of feel that when they can't do that, Alliance are very much in control of things. But the fact that Seb was able to get so much done in that fight just by existing, just be running at people as Necrophos, it's really kind of concerning for Alliance. They need something to deal with this now. Well, maybe a Nullifier or something, but again, I don't know. They need a lot.
Yeah, Nullifier would not be a bad idea. I don't really think anyone can easily build into it, though. And even if you find him,
Sven would
like,
have to.
If you're able to initiate onto the Necrophos, you need to blow everything to kill him. You need to blow RP, Avalanche Toss, Nimbus, Thunder God's Wrath, and maybe a Will-O-Wisp afterwards. Then you can probably kill the Necro.
3,500 health, you know, the hood to boost up that magic resist, which leads
and he's going for a Shiva, so he's going to have even
magic
more armor.
Yeah, it's a tough job, but at the same time, if you don't kill him, he's just going to be sitting on your front lines doing all sorts of damage, and with the 70 attack speed talent as well. He didn't even go for the magic resistance talent versus Zeus.
Oh yeah, that is a little bit surprising.
Dire's bottom tower.
That's actually very surprising. I don't think that he needs to carry this game. I mean, he does a lot of damage, it's great, but like you said, him just being alive in general is more than enough of a core role as he finds Insania on his side of the map.
The Keeper for Light getting a bit too close for comfort here as Seb will be able to finish him off with the help of Thompson. Even throw him a cheeky little tip as well. Ooh, Jesus, No-Tail really piling into the guy right now with the voice lines and the tips. My goodness.
And now OG have so much control of this north side of the map, and it's a late Roche, minute and a half respawn, so this kind of favors Alliance as their Coddle's going to come back, their Tiny's going to be able to respawn, but still, they have so many resources available right now. I saw okay, so Thompson picked up the gem. Jerax died at some point, and Thompson was able to recover the gem, so they still have their gem as well, so they can really rule this north side of the map with an iron fist.
Radiant's middle tower.
Smoke up to get the ward down as well. Probably won't be spotted out for a while by Alliance. I mean, Zeus might throw down a Thunderbolt at some point to be able to find it, but until then, Alliance are on the high ground. They want this buyback at least from the Coddle, it seems. Seb, he was just happily sitting on the high ground completely by himself.
Yo, you take that 70 attack speed talent, you better take advantage of it.
Certainly is.
Yeah, they don't want to push it too much. They know Roche is available, and at some point...
Yeah, Nimbus actually gets thrown into Roshan just to give Alliance a vision. They know what's going to be happening right now.
Oh my.
Again, you know, Alliance, they kill off the PA.
Dire are scanning.
They basically win the fight, but now the net worth is in OG's side. They just have the map control. They're just able to output so much more pressure onto Alliance than Alliance can put on them, even when Alliance had the lead, which is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm glad that Magnus just picked up his gem. Hopefully they can start reclaiming some of this map control. And hopefully they do it in time for Roche. It's just they have to migrate as a team forwards, so Thunder God's Wrath can scout things out.
Now, ping's coming out. They know what's going on. No-Tail went for a right click on Roshan. That will let them know. Boxy's coming forward. C7 just immediately gets himself out of there. Oh, God, no, nothing to do with this guy. Just tossing in place. The dagger's coming out, though, along with the Atos as well. Thompson, he's searching for those backlines. The pings come out onto Qualifier here. They know where he is as the God Strength gets popped by Madara. Needs to find a target. They get the stun off onto Ana, but there's a false promise coming down. There's a Winter Scout on top of it as well. They block Tiger in the backline. That's going to be no RP. No buyback available on that mag as Madara comes forward. He knows he needs to get some kills here. Will find the Winter Wyvern, but could be in some trouble. Now the stun comes out onto Madara as BKB's run out, and he's just going to get taken out. OG, they just kind of kill the overextended Sven, and inside the base as well. Well, Topson goes down because he just chased everybody back. He just chased them back into the base and left the Sven completely alone. And now Seb comes forward, gets tossed back. Atos is out onto him here. Ana wants to close the gap here. He wants to find the Tiny. Won't be able to get deep enough for it though.
Radiant structures are fortified.
No, the
best part of Ana OG, I mean, Magnus is dead. If they get a Magnus buyback, then they'll back off. But, I mean, you see how useless they are without an RP. They just...
Yeah.
There's no real...
Avatos on the backline. Can they finish off No Tell in time? Yes, they can. Nimbus, Avatos. It is going to be enough. Ana running forwards is dropping to about half health here, but, well, getting himself right back up again as Boxy getting low here. Needs to be careful. Tosses up, throwing him back to his teammate, but Boxy's going to die to the stunt, and then there comes the RP. They've got Ana health still. Buyback coming out from Spent as well. They will be able to take down Ana. Now they jump forwards again. Seb going to get his TP. No, it's not. Avalanche toss it, and they bring him down. Seb is dead. Alliance take themselves 4 kills. OG once again getting complacent.
I was fine with them taking Rexes. Them going for kills, it seemed to be like a good idea, but Magnus's buyback, I don't know. Oh, Magnus didn't have to buyback. That's even better. It was just a spam buyback and a tiny buyback, which is not great. Yeah. It still costs 2 buybacks, but you get Roche.
Yeah, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, exactly. You get Roche, you get Cheese. More importantly, OG do not get Roche, and they're not going to get the Aegis, they're not going to get Cheese, and I think that's more important than really Alliance claiming it for themselves. They do lose tier 3, but this is swinging back the other way now.
Yeah, Alliance are back into this game at least. But what can they do with this? This is the Aegis, this is the Cheese. My one complaint about Alliance this game has been their inability to put enough pressure onto OG when they are ahead. They've been making the plays, but they haven't just been making OG scared. OG have been in control, I felt like. I want to see that change from Alliance now.
Yeah, hopefully now that they've claimed both the gems, as Topson died with the gem. Topson's plan was smart to be able to, you know, drive everyone out, but him losing the gem is a pretty significant setback for OG, because like you said, they were able to take control so heavily, and it's because Alliance, you know, had no vision on the map whatsoever. Now they have their own gem, and they have OG's gem, and you're going to see basically the mirror image of what happened. Now, Alliance are just going to park themselves...
by the way, on the Kotl. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh yeah, wow, he's really formed.
Dude is big, and that's a Satanic on Ana. Anymore? Not really.
So they have 3 wards posted up. Obviously, No-Tail is going to be like, well, I'm going to spend a bunch of sentries. He's got 4. He's not placing any, actually. Maybe they think they can find a kill? Or maybe they just want to protect Ana? But let's see.
The Invis needs to be careful. Doesn't want to get caught out here. That would be bad. He did have to buy back after all.
Well, I'm shocked that No-Tail didn't go for any sentries in his jungle.
By the way, I want to point out this plus 0.8 Heartstopper on the Necrophos. Usually we see the minus 2.5 second Death Pulse cooldown. Gives a heal and a bit of damage, but the Heartstopper is a choice this game. Any particular reason for that? It's just because the spend is so flat?
Exactly.
Percentage based? Right.
Any strength heroes in general, if you're against a strength core, like Timbersaw, for example, it's so incredibly valuable to go for that. And he's not really getting low enough that he needs the heal, to be honest. He's, you know, cruising around at like a quarter HP, he just kicks in the Ghost Shroud, lets the heart regen do the rest of the work, so I definitely think that Heartstopper is a pretty smart choice for this game. God, there are so many wards. There are 5 Radiant wards on the dire side of the map.
Yeah, they're obviously feeling the same way as we are. Like we haven't had control of this game. All right, let's get control. We want to see OG on their home turf and go and kill them. They did take this bottom tower here, but OG have pushed the lanes in pretty far.
Voidfoot completes a Refresher Orb, and the Sven completes an Orchid, which was very close to being a Bloodthorn.
Yeah, I thought he was going for the crits, but Madara going for the control up instead, and that will give him True Strike onto Ana, so working out as well with the Brits. And
I think chances are he's probably just going to use it to discourage Winter's Curse or Fortune's End. Because he already has the MKB. He's the only person right-clicking.
True.
So I think he's the only person interested in actually attacking Ana. But if he's able to jump in and he's able to, like, throw out a Winter's Curse, then he doesn't even need to worry about this Aeon Disc, which is not completed on Jerax. Because previously it's like, I gotta go on Jerax. If I don't get Jerax, then, you know, my entire BKB duration is going to be underneath this Winter's Curse. So at least this gives him a way of shutting him up. Granted, Jerax does have a Yules, and Oracle does not have a Yules, so maybe he's going to use it on Oracle.
I want to see if they reveal this, but I think Madara might have just got it delivered to him in front of the creep wave, so I'm not sure if OG have seen this or not. I definitely think it's one of these items you want to keep hidden until you use it.
Yeah.
Alliance, it's a very tense point in this game. Alliance are at such a pinnacle. It kind of feels like if they can't win this fight... Yeah, Alliance are one game away from being completely eliminated from these qualifiers, and less than a 1k goal advantage at 47 minutes into this game. How on earth is this next fight going to play out? I don't think there's any possible way to know except to sit and watch these two teams face each other off.
This is so unfortunate for Alliance, though, because they posted up all these wards on the dire half of the map, and OG are like, that's fine. You can have that side of the map. We don't care about it. We just care about your side of the map. And as a result, Alliance have all this vision, and none of it is useful.
Right, here we go. Smoke is up. Alliance looking for the plays. Boxy leading the charge with that Shadow Blade. Going to see his smoke drop. They know exactly where they are. How do they take this fight? Well, observe on the front lines. Avalanche toss. Can they bring down in time with the toss charges? But no, the false bomb's going to come out from No-Tail. On the back lines, well, Ana jumping onto the Tiny here. Can he do enough damage? It doesn't look like he can, but there's a huge up here onto 3. Can they follow up? Do they have the damage from the step? I'm not sure they do. They got to control that with the Winter's Curse as well. Sven held still, Ana still alive. Jumping into the double nemesis on the backline, healing himself right back up to full HP with that Satanic. Tiger brought down. Sven can't find a target. He can't do anything. His Aegis runs out as well. Oh, Madara. It feels so bad. Alliance go for a huge play, but it's absolute carnage as they're still hunting for more as well. Insania tried to escape off the backlines, but it doesn't happen. Alliance buying back, but they've got no buyback on their Sven. They have no buyback on their Tiny. OG may just go for tier 4s right now. Seb running himself forwards. How do you lose? Nobody in that fight.
Great support play. Man, that is a heartbreaker that his Aegis times out is now... Oh,
they jump forwards again. The Zeus, this could be the end. He does have the buyback as the Nimbus coming down. Seb on the front line, but will be able to survive. Here is Ana into the base, and he takes down Qualifier for a second time, and down goes Insania as well. And OG, he just gets everybody. This is my fountain now, and this is my game, and this is your qualifiers over. I think Alliance, they don't have the buybacks, and they just have to sit and watch as, I mean, OG taunting a little bit here. Ana buys a Meteor Hammer to drop it down.
Oh man. He cast it on the Ancient, it doesn't even do anything yet. GG's.
And there's your GG's. Alliance tap out of this game as many Meteor Hammers come raining down from the skies to signal the end of their qualifier life. Oh, Alliance, they had a good game. They had a good game. It was an admirable performance from them, but unfortunately they just couldn't withstand the team fight coming out from OG there. The saves, the turnarounds, and this goddamn Necrophos just